The Swatch group is at it again, and their newest victim is Blancpain and our wallets. On Friday last week, there was a weird ad in the newspaper. Then rumors started that Swatch and Blancpain are collaborating on a watch. Rumors grew into some speculation, and for the last few days, we've seen countless videos on YouTube and a few different articles, few different models of what this watch could look like. Well, we don't have to speculate anymore because today, finally, this watch was unveiled. In fact, it's not just one watch, it's 5 different models. And why do I say 5 different models? Because there's actually quite a few differences between each one of them. It's not just the colors. So there's some good news and some bad news with this release. Let's talk about some of the good news. First of all, it is a proper diver watch with 91 meters of water resistance. Why 91 meters? So specific is because 91 meters is exactly 50 fathoms, the name of the Swatch. Kind of clever. I'm just glad that it actually has some proper water resistance. Wouldn't be a shame if this watch had 30 meters of water resistance, but it looked like this. It also has a proper 120 click diver style bezel. Hodinkee did a hands-on video of this watch, and according to them, the bezel action is actually pretty good. Of course, I want to get my hands on one to test it out myself, but by all accounts, it can function as a proper diver watch. It comes on a NATO strap. Apparently, these NATO straps are made out of recycled fishing nets. That's a good thing. The sizing of the watch is also not too ridiculous, 42.5 millimeters diameter, so it is a bit on the larger side, but it is a diver watch after all. It's a bit of a chunky boy, 14.5 millimeters thickness plus the NATO strap, so it will be a little thick on the wrist. However, it's made out of the bias ceramic case, which is essentially glorified plastic, so it will be super light. It probably won't be too uncomfortable, just might get caught on the sleeves of the jackets or shirts. The watch also has applied indexes. Some models come with Arabics, some just come with hashes. Both variants come with a pretty good lume, and the bezel itself is actually lumed. Not gonna lie, it does look cool to have a lumed bezel. And lastly, it is an automatic watch. A lot of people were afraid that this collaboration will result in the very first quartz Blancpain. Well, worry no more. This one is powered by the Swatch System 51. It's an automatic movement that's been powering Swatch watches for a very long time. It has a pretty impressive 90-hour power reserve. However, the movement itself is sort of cheap-ish. It's made out of 51 parts. That's why it's called Systems 51. It's assembled by machines, and by all accounts, you can't really fix these movements. After the movement is gone, you just pretty much throw the watch away. And that is one of my biggest negatives with this watch. They're branding it as this sort of environmentally friendly thing. The NATO strap is made out of recycled fishing nets. Yet the watch itself is sort of disposable. It's this fast fashion trend that's happening right now where the clothes cost like $5 somehow and people just wear it once or twice and they throw it out. Well, that's sort of what's happening here with this watch. I understand what they're trying to do, and on one hand, I appreciate that because they're making these watches more accessible for general public. However, when it comes at the cost of what these watches are supposed to represent, these sort of timeless pieces of art, excuse the pun, on your wrist that you wear for the rest of your life and you don't have to worry about them breaking down. As long as you service them, as long as you take care of this item, it will last you. Where these watches are here just to make a quick buck for the company, and after a few years, the consumers would just throw them out. They're completely disposable, and that is sort of a disappointing part of this release. The other two disappointing parts for me personally are the price and the color variations. So first, let's talk about the price. It's about $400 US, which is quite a bit. I would take a Seiko over the Swatch any day of the week. Lastly, let's talk about the colors and why I'm disappointed with them. Each one of these color variations is named after a different ocean. We have Arctic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Antarctic Ocean. Atlantic and Antarctic Ocean variants are my favorite, Atlantic being the one that's a real standout. For me personally, I think it's the most conservative one. I also like the fact that it has those Arabic numerals on the dials because not all of them do. Like for example, Arctic Ocean just has hashes instead of numerals, but it has some other elements on the dial. The case back of the watch is transparent and it displays this movement. They laser engraved parts of the ocean, and they also have a different fish or sea creature, I'm not exactly sure what those are, on the back of the rotor. So that's kind of a cool touch. Each ocean has a different creature that can be found in that ocean on the back of it. Okay, that sort of story works. I mean, the two color combinations I like are somewhat okay to look at. The other ones are just very ugly, at least in my opinion. But what Blancpain and Swatch have not done is release a more conservative standard black bezel, black dial version of the Swatch. And my tin hat theory says that they have learned from the success of moon swatches. They have learned that initial hype of this release will just sell out these collections as they are. They don't really need to do anything special. Then, mark my words, within a year, within 1 calendar year of this release, we will see the black version come to the market. They will have to bring the hype back to this model somehow, and that's when they will release the black version to really bring the fans back. Because really, if you're into these watches, that's the version that you want. So when they release it, you will go out and buy it if you're into this watch. Speaking of buying it, it will be released in Swatch stores exclusively on Saturday. They're first come, first served basis, just like before. You have to line up and hopefully you can buy one of these, but please don't line up because they're not limited edition. If you wait a little bit, they will start popping up in stores more regularly and you can just pick one up. And hey, if you don't like these type of releases, if you're against these type of practices, please vote with your wallets. Do not buy these watches if you don't like them, if you don't support what Swatch Group is doing here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not really too crazy about this release. I kind of turned around on the whole moon swatch idea. So I'm definitely not gonna buy one of these watches just to show my protest, I guess. That's the best way I can do it. The last thing I will say, if you like these watches, buy them. There's nothing wrong with buying what you like, but please, whatever you do, for the love of God, do not buy them from resellers for multiples of the retail price, because then you're really feeding the system. You're really feeding the beast. So if you like them, buy them from Swatch. Just be patient a little bit, and in a few months, you'll be able to pick up whatever version you want. Don't buy them from resellers. All right, those were my thoughts on this release. I will do my usual watch releases recap on Sunday and maybe talk a little bit more about this watch, maybe get some feedback from the community after a few people get their hands on these watches. Thanks for watching this video all the way until the end. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this release. I always enjoy reading your comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.